Whoa, I did not see that coming.
No.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 shocking moments in video games.
Sarah?
For this list, we ranked the most unexpected and unforgettable moments in games that threw us off guard. As hard as it was to choose in the cases of some games, we stuck to our usual one per franchise.
I just don't want to be on my own.
You should have thought of that.
And, just so you know, this list does contain mature content, as well as some of the spoileriest spoilers you've ever seen, so you've been warned.
That actually is pretty funny.
Number 10, Raiden, Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty.
This is my son. I taught him everything.
The Metal Gear series has had enough shocking moments and plot twists to make M. Night Shyamalan go, geez, tone it down. But we're going with the moment that irks hardcore fans the most, and is as much of a design choice as it was a plot twist. In one of the biggest bait and switches ever, after an awesome intro level on an oil tanker, you're thrown a huge curveball when you're forced to play as Mr. Glamrock for the rest of the game.
Why?
No offense to him, but he just doesn't have the cool factor of the legendary Solid Snake.
Infinite ammo.
And did we really need a section where we're playing as him running around naked? Number 9, Kefka Destroys the World, Final Fantasy VI. Aeris' death at the hands of Sephiroth in Final Fantasy VII may have been one of the saddest moments in this RPG series, but it was nowhere near as game-changing as this moment. About 2/3 of the way through the game, when we least expected it, the evil General Kefka betrays his superior, the Emperor, and devastates the entire planet. This changes everything. Your party is separated, most of the plant life is wiped out, and literally everything you explored during the first half of the game is now in ruins. Number 8, Dom finds his wife, Gears of War 2.
I can't believe it, Marcus. We finally found her.
Throughout this title, Corporal Dominic Santiago is intent on finding his missing wife Maria, who disappears after their 2 children die when the subterranean locust horde emerge from underground and she can't handle the depression.
This is everything we've been fighting for.
Yeah? Well, Maria's everything I've been fighting for. She's my f***ing wife, all right?
Although many didn't have high hopes that he'd ever find her, he actually does, sort of. Just not in the condition we'd hoped for. When he finally locates Maria, she's been imprisoned by the Locust and processed beyond recovery. He has no choice but to put her out of her misery, a heartbreaking moment in an otherwise non-stop action fest. Number 7, Carly's death. The Walking Dead, Episode 3, The Long Road Ahead.
She couldn't be trusted, Lee. I swear. Please.
Unsurprisingly, this grim zombie apocalypse graphic adventure has no shortage of unexpected twists, like when protagonist Lee gets bitten in the 4th episode. But this moment caught us completely off guard. When Lily gives Carly a hard time for harassing the group about stolen supplies, we're annoyed.
Just stop, would you?
But we didn't expect anything too drastic to come out of it.
You have until that walker is dealt with to tell me it was her and not you. Stop this, you're torturing him.
It turns out we were wrong, because Lily snaps, creating an unforgettable surprise moment that comes out of nowhere.
Now, what the is the problem?
Number 6, Dr. Salvador, Instant Death, Resident Evil 4. Sure, there's a lot of monsters that frighten us in this series, but there were none that made us go holy crap quite like this guy.
Chainsaw.
The sound of his chainsaw itself is scary, but we weren't expecting how dangerous he would be, since you can survive multiple sides and axes to the chest and take small damage. And this is a video game after all. Nothing's as deadly as it should be in real life, right? Wrong. He will take your head clean off and kill you with one hit, leaving your jaw on the floor, both figuratively and in-game. Number 5, No Russian, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2.
Remember, no Russian.
Those simple words start one of the most infamous levels in video game history. There are other shocking moments in the series, like when the nuclear device detonates in the game's predecessor, but this took the cake. Listening to the screams of civilians running for their lives as you're undercover as part of a terrorist firing squad was so controversial that the level made news headlines. You can skip the level, but then you'll miss out on another shocking plot twist.
That was no message. This is a message.
Number 4. You're a girl, Metroid. By now, it's well known that the protagonist of these legendary Nintendo shooters is female. But in the 1980s, gamers didn't have a clue when they fired up the original. Either our gender bias or our slavish obedience to common convention had us convinced that Samus was either a guy or some sort of robot. It also doesn't help that the game's original manual referred to Samus as a he, but it does hint at something big if you finish the game fast enough.
You brought this on yourself.
We were helping.
Number 3. White Phosphorus, Spec Ops: The Line.
Oh no.
This third-person tactical shooter has been renowned by gamers and critics alike for its moral complexity, and it reached its height with this shocker. When you wind up at the heavily guarded gate, you decide to use white phosphorus to make short work of the enemy fortification. It's nasty stuff, Google it for yourself.
Yeah, I know what it is. You've seen what this shit does.
But the trigger-happy use of such a controversial weapon has grave consequences when you find out your poorly thought-out actions result in the deaths of all these civilians. There are no war heroes in this game.
This is your fault, goddammit! Stop right there, Hugo. What it is? He wouldn't listen. We didn't have a choice. He turned us into killers. That's enough, Sergeant. No.
Number 2. Would You Kindly, BioShock.
Stop, would you kindly? Would you kindly? Powerful phrase. Familiar phrase.
Even without having our actions controlled by a nefarious businessman, this one was a no-brainer for our list. As you navigate the gorgeous underwater city of Rapture, you're guided via radio by the helpful voice of Atlas, or so you think.
A man chooses. A slave obeys.
This being a shock game, Atlas betraying you was probably an easy guess, but it's how he betrays you that's important here.
There ain't no Atlas, kid.
You think the phrase, "would you kindly," is just some sort of expression that he uses. He's Irish, they say funny things, right? But you find out he's actually using you as a pawn in his war against the magnate Andrew Ryan, and he's been controlling everything you've done with that special phrase.
Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find? Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly head to Ryan's office and kill the son of a bitch?
Before we get to our number 1, let's take a look at some honorable mentions.
I give you Clayface. I am Shodan.
Number 1, Darth Revan's reveal, Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic.
All this time and you still haven't figured it out.
In retrospect, it's no surprise that the franchise that gave us "No, I Am Your Father" would give us the most shocking moment in all of gaming too, but we still didn't see this one coming. Throughout the game, you're given hints of a former Sith Lord who brought the Republic to its knees in a brutal war, only to mysteriously vanish. So prepare to have your game turned upside down when you find out that Darth Revan is you.
Even the combined power of the Jedi Council couldn't keep your true identity buried forever.
For those who haven't played the game, imagine what your reaction would be if you found out that you were Hitler with amnesia.
Your friends do not give up easily, Revan. You always could inspire loyalty.
Do you agree with our list?
I thought you'd understand.
What shocking moment in video games took your breath away? For more surprising top 10s published daily, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.